We're here with two of our Cronkite Humphrey alums who are going to introduce themselves and talk about the value of the Humphrey program when they happen to be living in beautiful downtown Phoenix. Ladies first. Tola.
Okay, thank you very much. I am Adetola Kayode, broadcast journalist from Lagos, Nigeria. I work at Lagos Television. Of course, I had my professional affiliation with the one and only Walter Cronkite School of Communication and Journalism, ASU. And of course, the Humphrey Fellowship Program is a great program that gives us a leverage of the professional and academic environment, all on one single platform. It's great, it's beautiful, and impactful.
Thanks, Dr. B, for the opportunity. Thank you, Cronkite PR Lab, for the opportunity. My name is Joseph Mayombo from Gabon, Central Africa, and I was in Phoenix in 2015, 2016 at Cronkite School. I'm a communication specialist. I'm now converting myself to helping communities on how to develop themselves, how to develop skills, so well-being is something that they experience in their lives.
And you, during your Humphrey year, Joe, kind of made a career shift a little bit. What were you doing before, and what's your vision now in this new NGO that you're starting up?
Yes, before coming to Cronkite, I was, for the past 20 years, I was a communications officer for the WWF, World Wildlife Fund, that is known in the US. And I was also appointed as a Deputy Communications Director at the National Park Service in my country. And during the program in the US, I had internship, professional affiliation with National Park Service. And I heard that the first time I made the phrase civic engagement, and that the term I'm engaged with back home, helping communities on civility. The word came yesterday with Ambassador William Thomas. Yes, yeah, I'm really engaged in that civic engagement service, community service. What I brought home is that concept of community service. People are just looking at a salary. Of course, it's not bad to have a salary for after the job, but we need also to serve. You came to this world, that's a gift. As a gift, you also need to understand that you also have to give to people, and giving is can come from community service. That's the main idea, the main concept I got from my U.S. experience, and that's what I'm intending to implement back home in Gabon. I mean.
So how are you both serving the people of Africa, not only in your individual countries, but collectively this powerful continent, so that it's, you know, the era of Africa?
Okay, it's Africa. We are connected one way or the other, but physically, maybe I cannot go to Gabon, for example. I cannot go to Ghana, for example. But we need to push a national, an international front out there, a focus out there, especially on issues and happenings around us when it comes to women, when it comes to children, when it comes to the society, and all of that. So what I do is connect with maybe, for example, I had Samuel. Samuel is from Ghana. In the 2016-27 cohort, I contacted him when it came to substance abuse. We had a whole lot of issues. We're still having that issue right now. Young people abusing drugs and some of the regular drugs that we take, and they're abusing these drugs. Is an expert in that, and I sought his opinion from Ghana if they're experiencing the same thing. I Skyped, you know, with Samuel from Ghana on my show. So with that, and there was another person, Bulgaria, that's Ivilo. I spoke with him also on another report entirely. So in all of those things, that's some way that we can connect all of these countries together and, of course, push a national front, reflect Africa in a positive way. I talked about using traditional and social media, not just using one of both. You know, we need to harness this. We need to harness this traditional and social media to push all of the best of us out there.
Wonderful. So what did you learn about leadership during your time in America? And if Hubert Humphrey was across the table from us in our conversation on reflection by this beautiful pond here in Johannesburg, what would you tell him?
Service. That's the word. That's the catchword. And you know, we've often felt disappointed when we call our countries, Gabon, Nigeria, South Africa, as Africa. There are 54 countries, right? But I think it's an asset. It's an opportunity when they say Africa, like it's a whole, it's a bunch, right? And we need to capitalize this And that's what we've started doing it now in Central Africa. We have the organization. My organization is called Congo Basin Network. That means the 6 or 7 countries in Central Africa. It is start for networking, and as soon as we are one has a concept, has a project, has people gathered for service, we've been ready to get together with Nigerians, with South Africans, with people from Kenya and everywhere, in order to make sure that we are Africa, a positive continent with opportunities, with really good things happening there, not only disease, corruption, or bad leadership. Service is the word I will be keeping.
You spent a year in the States. Did you find that people stereotype Africa, obviously, and they think it's just one country and they don't understand the diversity that's here? Or what did you learn?
Well, it happens in all societies, and that's one of the things about leadership that I have learned a lot. You recognize the weaknesses and strengths of people and appreciate all of those people in their strength and, of course, in their weaknesses. Okay, when somebody comes to me, oh, Nigeria, where is that? Africa? Yes, Nigeria is part of Africa. Oh, I thought it was just one. No, and I start explaining, but in all, because maybe as journalist, I found myself in that environment. A lot of people also knew there's a difference between Africa and Nigeria. So it's just understanding people, their strengths and weaknesses, and appreciating them for who they are.
So where will you be 5 years from now? And this is the 40th anniversary of the Humphrey Fellowship Program and the grand 50th anniversary. 10 years, let's do 10 years. Where will you be?
Yes, before saying that, let's say that the Humphrey Fellowship Program is a good opportunity for Africans to go there and say, Africa means 54 countries. Africa is a continent, but Africa is also about 54 countries. 54 or 55?
56.
56 countries,
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
counting.
Yes. Yes. And 5 years from now,
Let's do 10 because this is the 40th anniversary of the
Yes.
Humphrey Fellowship. So let's go out 10
At the
years.
50th anniversary?
To the 50th anniversary.
that's a lot of time. I would like to come and tell my friends, my Humphrey Fellow alumni, IIE and the US, that thanks for the fellowship, thanks for the opportunity you gave me, because over the past 10 years, I've been changing things. I've been contributing to change in my country. And today we're talking about 60% of poverty in Gabon. I would like to come with a figure like we have 30% poverty in Africa, in Gabon. What about healthcare? What about education? What about environment? Because to me today, we've been publicizing environment in terms of conserving the wildlife, not about conserving the people. Because I won't stop mentioning it. They usually say, especially said, conservation is 10% about managing wildlife and 90% about managing people. So I would like to show that in 10 years, that people are very happy about when we talk about conservation, what about when we talk about wildlife protection. Because today is frustration. I want to come back with hope, happiness, content.
Great. And finally, Tola, 10 years from now.
Okay, 10 years from now, I would love to not just come with individual success stories, but also success stories from Nigeria, especially when it comes to young people. At that point in time, I would love to share stories about how young people are not just overtrained and not taking up leadership positions, but maybe come back to say, okay, Humphrey has helped us as a people, as Humphrey Fellows from Nigeria, and me particularly, has helped young people to take up leadership positions and not just wait for it or demand it, but be examples, that, okay, I can do it because I am trained, I'm qualified and skilled to be a leader. That's one of the stories I would love to share back.
You both have a wonderful legacy already. It's certainly going to continue to grow.
Thanks again, ASU, for the service.
Thank you.
Thank you.